Oh, g'day team, it's your old mate the Kiwi Badger. That car is messed up. We're going out for a bit of a ride. As I said, I think I diagnosed the problem, and the solution is a new radiator cap. I have a new radiator cap on the bike. Now I've just got to get it up to temperature in order to test to see if it's the actual problem. You put your phone down. Are you aware it's an $80 fine and 20 demerits while you've got your phone in your hand? You are now. Don't do it. It's that kind of behaviour that kills us. Please don't. So hopefully the old new radiator cap there, hopefully that fixes the coolant leaking problem. I do, however, have another problem, and that is when I fitted my aftermarket dash there. The way that the speed sensor works is there's two magnets. There's two magnets on the front disc, and they obviously spin past a sensor, which in turn gives a reading. It's calculated by the speedo, and that's what gives you a reading. I was on my ride the other day when I was with a big gorilla. One of them came off. So currently now I'm estimating that I'm doing about 100 kilometers an hour, but I can't be sure. But just up here on the right, there's quite a neat little farm. I can only assume that at one stage it was a deer farm, and that the farmer is probably retired. And I'll talk about shortly what he's got on there, but in New Zealand all mammals are introduced with the exception of the short-tailed bat, I think it is the only native mammal. So yeah, deer are introduced in New Zealand, and it forms a big part of our pastime. Hunting and fishing is huge, or are huge here in New Zealand, and this guy here has got some different specimens of the different deers. Old stag deer park is what he calls it. A nice big red stag sitting up. I probably can't do any justice with this shitty. I've got a plane there. Now it's just a private collection of different deer. These are a red deer. These are hinds or females. Got their boyfriend sitting up on the hill over there. He's got to be about a 40 pointer, I'm guessing. These are some antlers here from red deer. That one there on the left is not a red deer. That is an elk, or what we call a wapiti here in New Zealand. And this one here with the bear drinking, that's a red deer, but that's an elk. Yeah, so all of the deer that we have in New Zealand are introduced, and there's 7 species. I don't know if you can see the white deer over there, those are fallow. Quite a small deer. The red deer is the most prolific in New Zealand. They span everywhere. Other breeds have herds around the country. Some are balloted. Some are on private property. So it can be hard to hunt all of them. But that's normally what you eat in New Zealand. Normally, venison would be red. This one here, I can tell by its ears, that's a samba. It's got big dopey ears, quite a thick set animal. They get quite large. They're from Sri Lanka. They're a swamp animal. These ones here, what are they? They are elk, even though the sign says samba. Those are fallow deer, the albinos and naturals there, the brown one. I can't see any. Oh, there's the big boy. Look, there's the elk back there. You probably can't see him. way back in there. The bull is the white one. You can see he's right underneath those trees, right at the back. That's the bull, and he's got his cow over there. I don't know if you can spot them, but elk, quite a big deer. The biggest deer is a moose, which we did have here in New Zealand, but they were hunted out. They were introduced, I think they were introduced in the 50s, I could be wrong, 40s or 50s. Some hunters reckon that they've still seen them, they're still around, but no one can find any sign. They may have been mistaken for wapiti or elk. But anyway, the 7 breeds of deer. The red is probably the most prolific, the most common, and that's found everywhere. Stocks come from England and Scotland. Then we have fallow. They're a smaller deer, probably half the size, or probably even less than that actually. A third of the size of your average red deer. The males are called bucks or still stags, depends. And their antlers palmate, kind of like a moose's. Instead of having sharp points like most other deer, a moose's antler palmates, and so does a fallow deer. Then you've got sika, which are a Japanese deer of similar size to a fallow, a little bit bigger, and their antlers only ever grow to 8 points, a true sika. Main stocks of them are found up in Waiouru and around that area. Then you get samba, which are a very large deer. The meat is quite pale, it can be quite tough, it's not really renowned as an eating deer. True samba only grow to 6 points, that's for the stags. And they can be as big as a pony. I've seen some very big stags and some big hinds for that matter. Yeah, out. And they're a very sneaky, cunning deer. A lot of deer are very habitual in the way that they behave and live. Samba not so much. Samba don't tend to stick to any one area. They're very, I suppose, not migratory. They're just not habitual. They just don't stick around. You scare them, they go. They don't come back. Then we've got rusa, which main stocks are from New Caledonia. They're a 6-point deer, if I do believe. 6 points? Either 6 or 8, I can't remember. But the distinguishing feature on the rusa, they're about this, again, same size as about a sika. The distinguishing feature, on a rusa is their top tines, or their the points, go straight up. They look like spears. Quite neat. Then what are we left with? We're left with a whitetail. The main I suppose herd of them is Stewart Island. I believe there's some in the South Island, but not many. Most of them are Stewart Island. I've never hunted them. Not really taking my fancy. I don't feel like driving to the other end of the country to hunt them. And then of course we've got elk, or what we call wapiti. They are a large deer, very similar to red as far as their I suppose antlers are concerned. On a red deer, the top nest of points or tines can bunch out, and yeah, you can end up with many points at the top of a red deer's rack. Wapiti or elk not so much, they tend to swoop back. I think they look rather amazing. Yeah, so it's neat. I think not only do deer taste nice, I think they're a pretty magnificent animal, and hunting them can be a bit of a challenge, but it really connects you to your food, the land, and brings you closer with friends and family and children and that kind of thing, you know, if you're going out hunting with them and slogging out the hard yards. Also too, it's good to teach kids, in my opinion, good to teach them where their food comes from a lot of the time, and that it doesn't all just appear on a supermarket shelf. It comes from somewhere. Something has to die to feed us. I think you get a little bit more respect out of your meal that way. I did have a rule with my kids: when they turned 6, they went for their first tramp or hike, and when they turned 7, they went for their first hunt. That's if they wanted to. I've never forced my kids to do anything apart from eat their vegetables. But if they show an interest in it and want to give it a shot, then I'm more than willing to take them out and show them. I'm going to fill up with gas again because where we're going, there's no petrol stations. Let's see if she's leaking. What are we up to temperature wise? I overfilled it. So yeah, hunting. I grew up on a farm. I was no stranger to killing and eating animals. And of course I've probably passed on very similar values to my kids. Often you have conversations or with people that they're vegans or vegetarians, or they eat meat but they think that hunting is barbaric. Now everyone's entitled to opinion, I always say that, but what I can't stand, I suppose what frustrates or annoys me is when people have opinions based from ignorance, really. I had a separate conversation with a vegan who was a female. And again she said that hunting is barbaric. And I did the whole eye roll sigh, here we go, okay, enlighten me with your knowledge. I said, why do you say that? And she said, well, I don't support the killing of anything that is alive for the consumption by humans. And I said, fair enough. I said, you do realise vegetables are alive? And she said, no, I mean living things with feelings and brains. And I laughed. I said, yeah, I know, I was joking. See, vegans have no sense of humour. Anyway, she said it's unfair. What gives you the right as a human to end the life of something else just so that you can eat it? I said it's called the food chain, and it's just the way nature works. There's a difference between hunting your food as you require it and intensive farming like battery hens or something like that. That's a whole different discussion. Intensive battery hens and that kind of carry on. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Come on, dog, get off the road. You're gonna get run over, kid. I laughed and I said, yeah, and I realised that I was joking with you. She said, well, that's not funny. She said, I could never bring myself to torment an animal or kill an animal like that. It's disgusting. You should be ashamed of yourself. Well, I sort of took it for what it was. It's her opinion, and that's fine. There was a little bit of offence taken on my behalf. And I said, so you don't eat fish or anything like that? And she said, no, I'm a vegan, I told you. I said, oh, have you, like, you've never been fishing or anything? And she goes, yes, but I don't kill them. I said, okay, well, what do you do? She says, I catch and release. I said to her, well, don't you think that's a bit cruel and inhumane and torturous as a human? She said, no, I let it live. I said, but you're talking about not torturing animals or being inhumane, correct? She said, yes, quite vehemently. I said, well, how would you like it if I put a hook through your mouth, dragged you around the ocean, pulled you out of your natural environment, ripped the hook out of your mouth, and shoved you back in the water? And she said, well, it's not the same thing. I said, why is fishing, catch release, not tormenting? Why is it not the same thing? And she said to me, because fish don't have feelings. Because fish don't have feelings. I said, well, they might not feel love, but they sure as shit feel pain. I said, and pain's not an emotion, it's a nervous response to an action. I said, you're one of the biggest hypocrites I've ever come across. Once I pointed out that her going catching, releasing with the rest of her family, who kept them to eat, was no different to the people that she claimed were barbaric and cruel. She shut her mouth pretty quickly. Unbelievable. Now, if you're a vegan or a vegetarian out there, guys, that is cool. Good on you. You do it for your reasons, and that's fine. That is absolutely fine. I'm not a vegan or a vegetarian. I used to hunt a lot to feed my family. To feed my family. One of the things I love a V-twin for is the engine braking. Talked about it before. Sometimes in a corner, this bike provides enough engine braking where you don't even have to touch the brakes, which means it doesn't upset the balance of the bike. This bike is also very well balanced mechanically in as much that I can change gears through a corner, which a lot of people don't necessarily recommend. For the same reason, it throws the balance of the bike off. Oh, I have to make a little correction too. When I spoke about the preparation work I'd done and put a new tyre on the back and got a 90-degree valve stem put on, and AFC, it wasn't AFC actually, it was actually Gary Worsley Motorcycles who did the work on that. Blair and the crew at Gary Worsley Motorcycles, the ones I do the twilight rides with. Good bunch of guys, honest, hard-working, good guys. They're out to do a good job at a good price with good stuff. What more could you want? Hey? Oh, I've had a bit of a race, now it's time to just mosey. Now it's just time to mosey. I'll put a little more gas in, I think. Been getting a few comments lately about not getting notifications about my postings, and some people are thinking that I've disappeared from the face of the earth. I clearly haven't gone anywhere. And I think it's one of the... oh God, excuse I think it's one of those YouTube things where they fake your death. They don't post notifications in your inbox. It's happened to me with the people I'm sub to. Yeah, and it's happened to a few of you guys as well. I made a video a while ago about the longest place name in the world and how it was not far from my home. And I've had a request to pronounce the longest place name in the world. Oh, some doubters out there don't know if I can do it. Well, I can tell you right now that it is Tau Matawhakatangi ko Wowowo o Tamatea Turi Pukaka Piki Maunga Horanoku Pokai Whenua Ki Tana Tahu. And it translates loosely to something like Tamatea, the chief, played his mouth flute for his loved one. Yeah, something like that. Oh, just as well I'm not in a hurry because there was a police car. Oh, matter for yourself. But be careful along here. Police cars, lots of them normally, because Manawatu is quite a large area and it has one of the highest proportionate numbers of road patrol presence in the whole country. Fact. I don't know why we're going to Martin. There's nothing in Martin, but I don't really want to go home just yet, even though I have got jobs to do. I'm procrastinating. That's what I'm doing, I'm procrastinating. But you know what they say about procrastination? Procrastination is like masturbation. In the beginning, it feels good, but in the end, you only end up fucking yourself. Martin, the hub of the Rangatiki. Oh, you pulling my leg, the hub. No wonder the wheels have fallen off. Bloody hell. Here you go, people. This is the hub of the Rangatiki. I'm sorry if you're from Martin and you love your town, but the hub of the Rangatiki, that's your claim to fame, the hub of the Rangatiki. Please, come on, sharpen up. The hub of nothing much at all. Martin, the hub of the Rangatiki. Adobe Motel. Yellow car. I just watched Thor Ragnarok the other day, and it's kind of neat actually. They sort of put a lot of humour into the movie, and they've sort of put a Kiwi twist on it with the accent of Taika Waititi as Korg. Hello, I'm Korg. I'm kind of like the leader in here. I'm made of rocks, but don't let that intimidate you. Yeah, to put that sort of Kiwi twist on things is really cool. I really enjoyed it.
Hey, take it easy, man. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Korg. I'm kind of like the leader in here. Over here, there's a pile of rocks waving at you. Here. Yeah, I'm actually a thing. I'm a being. This is my very good friend over here, Meek. He's an insect and has knives for hands. I'm made of rocks, as you can see, but don't let that intimidate you. You don't need to be afraid unless you're made of scissors. Just a little rock, paper, scissor joke for you. I've
got to say though, Taika, you almost overdid it. Okay, Cork, even though you're made of rocks, don't overdo it though, bro.